some stuff out there. Definitely have to get involved as far as a gun owner. Not even as a gun owner. I don't even feel this is a gun issue. This is an American issue. For every time they want to take some amendment or rights away from the citizens of this country, we all lose. Whether it's gun rights, freedom of speech, doesn't matter. We all have to be involved. We all have to have a say. So if you firmly believe in your rights and the Constitution and all the amendments in it, I strongly urge you to do the same. Put a video out, write your congressman, write the powers to be, the lawmakers, voice your opinion, because only those that speak are heard. As an American patriot, responsible, law-abiding citizen, gun owner, and firm believer in the Second Amendment, I am compelled to write this letter. My heart goes out to the community and the families of the children and adults who have lost their lives after this horrific tragedy that has played out in Newtown, Connecticut. People of the United States, whether pro-gun or anti-gun, know that the safety of our children should always be the main topic of discussion, especially after such a tragedy as this. Unfortunately, in our society, it seems to always shift away from mourning the dead, placing blame on the evil person who perpetrated such a terrible crime, to knee-jerk reaction blaming the tools in which he used. Without thought or research of the facts, some elected officials feel the need to institute new gun laws and put them on the books. And once again, millions of responsible, law-abiding citizens need to defend our Second Amendment rights. I have become very politically aware and very concerned with gun control issues in this country and their consequences. Most importantly, I have become aware of how the lack of understanding on the part of the media, elected officials, and anti-gun voters can have a dramatic negative effect. For many elected officials and in the media, gun control is one of the favorite follies, twisting the facts, spinning the research, spitting it back out in a form totally different than the truth. The media dispenses mountains of fabrications on every television, radio station, website, and newspaper imaginable, keeping the average citizen from understanding the facts and true issues at hand. Many voters consider gun control to be the perfect integrity test for elected officials. Gun control legislation is nothing more than a knee-jerk reaction to garner more votes. Not only do gun control laws not work to reduce crime, it has the opposite effect. Elected officials have two choices: do what's right for the country and protect its citizens, or pass more gun control and garner more votes. When elected officials choose votes over what's right, they fail the integrity test. Will you pass? That's what we need to ask our lawmakers. Will you pass? In reality, there is no such thing as an assault weapon. It's a phrase invented and added to the English vocabulary by the anti-gun establishment. The Violence Policy Center, a leading promoter of the 1994 assault weapons ban and one of the most extreme anti-gun organizations in existence, was so bold as to put their deceitful intentions in writing. And I quote, "The semi-automatic weapons' menacing looks coupled with the public's confusion over fully automatic machine guns versus semi-automatic assault weapons, anything that looks like a machine gun is assumed to be a machine gun, can only increase the chance of public support for restrictions on these types of weapons. The public's lack of knowledge and inability to tell the difference between a real full automatic weapon of war and a civilian semi-automatic version have fooled the public into supporting bans against them. The anti-gunners' mantra is that assault weapons are the weapons of choice for every criminal. Again, this is not true. It has been proven that these types of firearms are only rarely used in violent crimes, less than 0.25%. Sadly, their strategy not only worked on the public, but it has also worked on some elected officials as well. Please, sir, do not be one of them. All evidence from across the country and across the world points to the fact that gun control laws disarm potential victims while increasing crime. Yet most politicians spurn logic and promote gun control. Why? The definition of a criminal is someone who does not follow laws. With that being the case, how does another gun law stop a criminal? Currently, there are more than 22,000 gun laws at city, county, state, and federal level. If gun control law worked, wouldn't we already be free of crime? In 1976, Washington, D.C. enacted one of the most restrictive gun control measures in the country. Since then, D.C.'s murder rate has increased 134%, while the nation's murder rate has dropped 2%. Maryland is another one. They claim to have the toughest gun control law in the country. It also ranks number 1 in robberies and number 4 in violent crimes and murders. Facts have shown that as gun ownership increases, crime decreases. And when gun control is increased, crime increases as well. Because the word militia is used in the Second Amendment, gun control advocates will argue that it does not describe an individual right but a collective right. How is that after all the other amendments in the Bill of Rights bestow individual rights, yet the Second Amendment doesn't? Anti-gunners will also tell you that the flintlock rifle was what our founding fathers had in mind when writing the Second Amendment. If that were the case, the quill pen is what they had in mind when writing the First Amendment. Using that same argument, the Constitution would not protect free speech on things like the internet, television, radio, or modern print. I find it very strange that free speech protected by the First Amendment is so often used to vilify and destroy other constitutional protected rights. The Second Amendment protects all of the others. Without it, they all fall. With this recent attack on our Second Amendment, I strongly urge you to learn the facts on gun control, make a sensible decision, and vote no on any new gun control legislation. God bless America, and God bless you for watching this. I just want to leave you with one last quote that I find very interesting. There is no one to protect us. We must take responsibility for our personal safety into our own hands. While politicians attempt to try to control the masses, ultimately we must remember that self-defense is not a legal right, it is a human right.